Everybody, it's the Mortgage King, and I'm making this video just because what I really want to do is make videos on things that are relevant that we're going through right now, or things that I read about just right now. I do have like a planned thing that I have going on, but sometimes I find that when I make my videos, it's kind of not relevant in the sense of it's not what's really on my mind. And so, since I come across a lot of files, a lot of different scenarios, and just a lot of different things within the mortgage space, I feel like I want to get the most relevant things and make a quick video about it. Not an Instagram post that's like a minute long or like a Facebook post. The whole point of this YouTube channel, again, is just to provide you guys information so that you can be more aware of what's going on within the industry in general. And the reason for that is because there's a lot of fake. I was told to be myself in these videos, and so I was about to use foul language, but I also want to change who I currently am, so I'm not going to use foul language. But there's a lot of advertising. I mean, you can see I want to be straightforward. I don't have an in and out page where the zoom is going in and out to keep your attention. I don't have a fancy microphone, although I did used to have all those things. I just want to be straightforward, or I don't want to say down to earth, but I just want to be normal, so to speak. And so there's a lot of gadgets out there, a lot of things that make you think certain things. And I know because I'm in the business, right? There's people who are taking out home equity lines of credit who don't really need to take out a home equity line of credit. They're just doing it because because somebody made a cool video about it, right? They didn't know the other options that were out there. They were telling them to not touch their current rate. They can get a HELOC and not touch it, and that drove them to think it was a good idea. I see people who are, buying into this thing that's going around in social media, date the rate or marry the home or something like that. But there's a lot of catchy things in mortgages and in real estate in general. But before I go off into that topic, I wanted to just express something that came across right now and that I'm seeing a lot. Excuse me for coughing so much. I've been talking a lot. It's 12:18 right now, and I've made 113 calls already. So my throat's a little dry. However, one thing we want to talk about is I saw a post, again, of a real estate agent who is spewing out info about why sellers don't like FHA loans. And then he goes into a whole spew of why sellers don't like FHA loans. And that's completely, guys, that's false. That's a false narrative. Whenever someone says sellers don't like FHA loans, in the sense of like they don't like to accept FHA loans, that's because of the advice they're getting from the real estate agent. Because there's no seller in I mean, I've done tons of transactions. I've never heard a seller, because I actually even help for sale by owners, right? It's not just like I'm talking to real estate agents. I'm talking to actual sellers. They can care less what program you're using to buy their home, as long as they're going to use money to buy their home. They're not sitting there asking what program is it, right? So that's just a false narrative. When someone says sellers don't like FHA loans, it's really real estate agents who don't like FHA loans. And I love real estate agents. This isn't an attack on real estate agents. It's just a topic that I see a lot. Because buyers even tell me, after I get them approved for an FHA loan, because it fits them better, it's going to give them a better monthly payment. It's going to give them a better low down payment. It's going to increase their chances of approval. They'll go out, start shopping for a home, and they say, hey man, it's so tough to use this program because a lot of sellers don't like it. And that's false. It's not sellers that don't like it. It's the real estate agent that's helping them list their home, right? And that's why I do a lot of realtor trainings. Because one thing that no one can argue about, right, is that real estate agents are not mortgage brokers. They're not licensed in lending. And even if they are licensed, there's just so much experience that you need within the realm of mortgages to even get your 2 cents in a topic like this one that we're having. And so because of the lack of education with mortgages and real estate agents. Just like there's a ton of things I don't know about real estate agents because I'm not a real estate agent. I buy real estate, I help people buy real estate, I loan money, but I'm not a real estate agent. So I would never try to tell a realtor how to get a listing or something like that. You know what I mean? But that's just a false narrative that's going around, is being pushed by a lot of real estate agents, that FHA loans are longer to close. That's completely false. FHA loans are not, they don't take longer to close. What takes long to close is how the loan originator, right, the mortgage professional that's helped constructing this loan and taking the loan application, how well can they take a loan application? When they're taking the loan application, whether it's a conventional loan, an FHA loan, a VA loan, a USDA loan, how well are they going to collect documents and prepare themselves for what the underwriter is going to ask about their application that they're submitting? That's just the truth. Look, I've had FHA loans that have closed in 7 days. I've had conventional loans that closed in 7 days. I've had VA loans that closed in 7 days. FHA loans don't take longer to close. That's a false narrative that's just posted everywhere. They'll tell sellers when they're listing their houses, hey, look, you have two here. You have a conventional loan and an FHA loan. You should probably go with the conventional because the FHA loan is going to take longer. That is a lie. It's probably not just a lie, like a purpose lie. Maybe they just don't understand. Maybe they're really just trying to guide their client in the right direction. But it's false. FHA loans don't take longer to close. What takes long to close is a loan that a loan officer took, right, the application, and didn't prepare themselves properly for an underwriter review. That's what takes long, right? Are they actually looking at this application and preparing themselves for questions that an underwriter is going to have? And I just wanted to make that video because there's a lot of other things that this gentleman was saying on this one particular video about FHA loans and et cetera, and why they're not good loans for sellers and all this false info. But I want to get on here to clarify that. If you're on my channel and you're looking at this and your loan officer is presenting you an FHA loan and it's actually better for you, you should use it. Now, you can't force a seller to accept your offer, but if it really came to it, you just got to know that it's not the seller that's denying this. It's probably the real estate agent. And maybe you should give the real estate agent a call. A good thing, I'll leave you with this. If you're looking for solutions, to a seller not accepting your FHA loan, I would encourage you to get your loan officer on the phone with the real estate agent. I can almost guarantee if there's a 0% chance that offer is not going to get accepted because it's an FHA loan, if you simply ask your loan officer to speak with the real estate agent, and that real estate agent can get on the phone with your loan officer and say, okay, yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about, I can almost guarantee you that your offer might get accepted. Of course, not if you're competing with some other offer that's just outrageous, right? But realistically speaking, in the realistic realm, if that loan officer just talks to him and gives that real estate agent the idea that the file's in good hands and they're going to close, then most likely your offer is going to get accepted. That would be the solution that I would present if you're walking around with an FHA approval and you're trying to make an offer on a home and they're just not accepting. Get that loan officer to speak to him just briefly. Most likely those conversations are like 5 minutes. And most likely, if it's a local lender, I'm in Miami, and if there's like a listing agent who takes the pre-approval letter and see my name on it, they'll say, oh, I know this guy. I'm sure he can get this done. Let me actually just call him. And they'll ask just brief questions. Hey, Gio, how'd you get him approved? What are the assets looking like? Do they have cash to close? Whatever. And that'll probably be the solution for it. But I wanted to get on here and just make that video. I hope you guys find this information of value. FHA loans do not take longer than conventional loans. Now, the only reason why I would think that a seller would not accept an FHA loan is if the seller is an investor, right? An investor who's not using a real estate agent. Because with FHA loans, let's say if it's an investor who is doing a fix and flip deal where they just purchased a home, they gutted it, they fixed it, now they want to sell it. FHA has a rule, it's called the 90-day flip rule, where they cannot purchase homes who had just been through a purchase transaction within 90 days. That would probably be a legit reason why a seller won't accept it, but not because FHA loans take long. They might have just purchased it, fixed it up in 2 weeks, and they're getting ready to sell it, and your offer comes in FHA. They know that FHA won't accept or close on this purchase because they have an FHA 90-day rule. All right, guys, again, I hope you find this information of value. I really, truly do. I hope this channel brings you guys a lot of value. One more one more cough before I go. It's the Mortgage King, so you know who said it.